20 seconds left on the clock. Shanghai, look at all the check marks they've got working on it. Staying in the back line. Oh, Sleep! Kareem! Clutch Sleep making all the difference. Shanghai Dragon.
Of all the post-launch heroes added to Overwatch, none have resulted in the rise of more superstars than Ana. Wielding a kit loaded with utility and a high skill ceiling, Ana is a support with overwhelming carry potential and the ability to shape the meta. Through nerfs and buffs, slight reworks and tweaks, Ana has changed a lot throughout her history, and as a result, so too has competitive Overwatch. This is the history of Ana. Ana was released on July 19th, 2016 as Overwatch's first post-launch hero. At first, fans were lukewarm to her debut. Her magazine size was only 8, and her rate of fire was notably slow. This meant that her healing output wasn't nearly as high as other supports in the game. However, that didn't last for long. 1 week later, Ana received her first major buff. Her magazine size was increased from 8 to 10, and her rate of fire was increased by 20%. The problems players once had with Ana were now rectified, and teams were beginning to understand the power of her kit, primarily the team-wide potential of Nano Boost. At the time, Nano Boost was a lot stronger for one key reason: speed. Not only was the recipient granted 50% damage reduction and a 50% damage bonus, they also received a speed buff of 30%. This gave birth to what would come to be known as the Beyblade meta.
Not the Nano Boost, not the Death Blossom, not anything go on.
Yeah, I really agree. It looked a lot smoother. And here's the Volatai in the back line. Speaking of smooth, getting that smooth Death Blossom triple.
Teams discovered that using Nano Boost on an ulting Reaper was the easiest way to score a full team wipe through massive damage output, insane durability, and the speed buff that meant no one in the area of an ulting Reaper was safe. And just to make Reaper even more unstoppable, teams would apply a Zarya bubble and Lucio's speed boost to him, meaning that the few stuns in the game would have no effect. It was as simple as spin to win. And that's what we saw throughout Apex Season 1's round robin stage. But come playoff time, a new patch and a new meta would start to emerge. On November 15th, 2016, Ana's Nano Boost no longer granted a speed increase. This limited the effectiveness of Beyblade because it required the Lucio's speed boost each and every time. Additionally, one hero had been receiving a steady stream of buffs for quite some time, and was about to come into their own as a meta-defining pick. And this hero's name was D.Va. With buffs to D.Va's health and defense matrix, she and Ana were about to usher in the original tank meta. And the first teams to capitalize on these two characters would be on their way to the Apex Season 1 Championship. Enter EnVyUs. EnVyUs was one of the first teams to utilize a triple tank composition of D.Va, Reinhardt, and Roadhog to great effect, making use of Ana's healing output to grant extremely high sustain, and D.Va's defense matrix to absorb Unco's healing, denying sustain for Rogue. This triple tank lineup would become a staple for the rest of the playoffs, and eventually lead EnVyUs to become the Apex Season 1 champions, becoming the first ever Western team to win a championship in South Korea. But let's talk about how Ana was the backbone of this comp. With such high healing output, a well-defended Ana can continuously pump out healing for her team. A team that already has insane tankiness with two 600 HP tanks and a 500 HP hammer-wielding German man with a 2000 HP barrier. It also means that once the enemy Reinhardt's shield is down, there's nothing to deny a well-placed biotic nade from connecting, completely denying the opposing team's Ana from being able to keep her team up and running. Defense Matrix is used to eat the opposing Ana's nade to ensure that your team never has to deal with its anti-heal effects. It's also important to keep in mind that at this point, any allies hit by the Bionade receive 100% extra healing for 5 seconds. Denying the value of Bionade was critical for EnVyUs' success. This triple tank variant would be the primary meta throughout Apex Season 2, but nerfs to Ana's Bionade, along with nerfs to D.Va, lowered the composition's success rate. However, two upcoming changes would flip competitive play on its head. On March 21st, 2017, Winston received a massive buff to his shield, allowing him to deploy it much more often. Additionally, Ana's damage was nerfed from 80 per shot all the way down to 60. And this was key, because Ana could no longer 2-shot a Tracer or 3-shot 200 HP heroes. This increased time to kill completely changed her damage breakpoints on dive-centric DPS heroes. For this first incarnation of dive, and while she was still a present force, Ana started sharing more and more time with Zenyatta, who had just received damage buffs. This dive-based attack from AF Blue into the Ana triple tank old guard of X6 Gaming illustrates the power that dive had over Deathball. Even with a nano-boosted Reinhardt, X6 simply cannot contain the overwhelming offense of a Genji Blade combined with a Tracer buzzing through their back line. With Winston's barrier online more often, and divas becoming even more skilled with their defense matrix, Ana's value was beginning to dwindle, and it was only a matter of time until Zenyatta would fully take her spot. Zenyatta players didn't have to worry about having their healing eaten, and Zenyatta's Discord Orb was perfect for dive comps, as it amplified damage on the discorded enemy by 30%. For coordinated teams, this meant obliteration unless the other team was also running a Zenyatta of their own. There have been several meta shifts since Ana's first introduction. We briefly saw a double sniper nearing the end of Overwatch League Season 1 with the power of Grav Dragon, and now we have Goats and its many variants, some of which do include Ana, although she hasn't been anywhere near as prominent as she was during Apex Season 1 and 2. She's a hero who has had countless changes, nerfs, and buffs. Her damage went from 80 to 60 and now sits at a comfortable 70. Nano Boost used to grant speed boost and now it heals instantly for 250. And can you believe that her weapon went from once having a mere 8 shots to its current 14? There's no support in the game with as high a skill cap as Ana. And such, she has proven to be a difficult hero to balance. Nonetheless, when you think of some of the best players to ever play the game, it's hard not to mention the likes of Ryu Jae-hong, Jonak, and even highlight reel streamers like ML7. And while Ana's dominance in professional play may have been short-lived, recent nerfs to defense matrix and the rumors of a Force 222 could very well lead to Ana's resurgence. And now, a message from our sponsors. You and your friends game together. You win some, you lose some. But sometimes, the challenge is too much, and it takes a real team to get back up. Introducing Insights, an all-in-one platform to elevate your team performance. Simply play, review, and strategize, all in real time. See why the pros use Insights to organize and review their gameplay. Get your free account today.